Hello, hello. We are talking vision boards today. I'm Elizé, your host, and I'm excited to talk about vision because sometimes it could be like, oh, isn't that kind of hokey? Just putting some pictures up on a board and then just like pretending that it's going to happen. And I thought about, this actually was it last night? I asked my husband, like, hey, I lost my glasses because I always lose my glasses. And we were watching a show and I needed my glasses. Like, if you see them around, like, can you let me know? And he, a couple minutes later, he's like, oh, I found your glasses. And I was like, oh, yay. And I got them. And it just, for some reason, made me think about vision, not just with my glasses and seeing kind of vision, but like when you know what you're looking for, all of your senses sort of filter, right? You're looking for something specific. The way you're looking at things with your eyes, the way you're hearing things, the way you're experiencing things, right? You're starting to hone in more into something specific, to a target. And in my example, I was giving the target to my husband, which was my glasses. And because he had that vision of what he was looking for, he was able to find it more clearly, more easily. If you can think about, like, you buy a new red car and then suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, everyone has red cars out on the street, right? Because you have a vision, you have an understanding of you have more clarity of what you're looking for. And that's exactly what vision gives us, what these vision boards help us with. And there are some kind of do's and don'ts around vision boards, but really what we'll discuss those in a bit, but really what it's about is for you to get a feeling when you are creating your vision. What is the feeling that something gives you for the future? And you hold on to that feeling and you let that be your target. Let that be your guide for where you want to go, right? Because no one else controls your life but you. And the more we get to sit in the driver's seat, the more we start to take more responsibility for our future, the more that we're going to start to see it go our way. All right, so let's get into my screen. This is a PDF that I have given you guys. Here's the challenge prompt. We're creating a collage in Adobe Express with images, photographs, affirmations, and quotes that help you visualize what you want for this upcoming year. And this is part 4 of a 5-part series where we're creating a personal ebook that has reflections and highlights from the past year and our vision and our intention of what we want in this upcoming year. And we're doing it all through Adobe Express. I also have some playlists because I have a new playlist every day for y'all. We have something like some relaxing tunes. When you're writing or something like that, I have that playlist. And then there's like a more upbeat, fun playlist that I've curated on Spotify. So if you want to kind of get into a good spirit, into a good flow, go ahead and listen to those playlists. On the right-hand side, you're going to have the directions to how to create this, but you're going to see it in this video right now, so I don't need to talk about that too much. But right down below, this is where the meat of today's exercise is. We are doing our visualization, and I highly recommend that you close your eyes during this exercise and get into a really comfortable place in a comfortable state of mind. You can maybe do a little bit of breathing exercises. You can also just do a light meditation beforehand, just to kind of get your mind to relax a little bit. If you're like, I've got 50 things to do on my to-do list, I got dishes, I got this, I got that. Oh, and I got to do my visualization board. Like, you're not coming at it where you're able to really kind of hone in on what feels right for you. Right. So that's why we want to kind of relax ourselves, get into maybe take a bubble bath before, whatever makes you feel relaxed. I like this little quote from Thriss. I hope I'm saying this right. Tris Thorpe. Using highly detailed, vivid imagery is an extremely powerful way to train the mind to go after and get what you want. Professional athletes use mental visualization to help them become more agile in their game. For example, Tiger Woods has been using visualization techniques to improve his game since he was a teenager. So if you want to be like up in your game like Tiger Woods, you have to believe it, or you have to see it to actually achieve it, right? That's what we're focusing on. So once you feel relaxed, you're going to follow these steps where you are going to choose an area of your life that you are struggling in, or you want to experience some sort of transformation or change in. And you are going to imagine like the highest possible outcome in that area. So you'll close your eyes, you'll sit and you'll think, where could I be at 6 months or a year from now, where that is like just like the best state I could be in this area. And imagine if all of these hopes and dreams came true. What is that experience like? And instead of, getting hung up on like, I don't know if that could happen, or, I don't think that could be for me, right? Coming into these negative thoughts, I really highly recommend that you try to filter those out. That's why we come at it with a calm state of mind, so we can filter out some of our negative chatter inside our brains. And let ourselves just go a little wild with our aspirations. Anything is okay. It's all in your brain. It's all okay. And what is really most important is to think about what is the feelings and emotions that come up for us during these visualizations. What does it feel like to get what you want? What does it feel like to be living this dream? And you're going to repeat this process in a few areas of your life. So you can think about your home, finances, relationships, whatever it is. And then you can draw or write out what you envisioned. I want to see if I can actually find my piece of paper where I drew. Yeah, I did. Okay, so this is my little paper. You probably can't see it, but I've got scribble scrabble like all over this thing. But I have like these little trees, and I have put like peaceful retreats. So sometimes when I'm like visualizing, I just have these like visuals of certain things, and then I draw those like in a really rudimentary quick way with some of the words that came up for me and some of the feelings and emotions that came up for me. I also wrote down some of the things that came up for me as well in here. So do what feels right for you, whether you want to write them down, draw it out, etc. And then we're going to get into Express to start putting it in our book. Okay, so if this is your first time working in Express, you haven't done any of the other parts with me, you're going to create a new project from scratch. You're going to find a template that works for you. And I highly recommend starting with the collage templates. That's going to be the best option. And I'm going to show you what it's like for me to select a collage, but I'm going to do it from my projects, because I've already started my book. This is day 4, part 4, and you are welcome to just do today's exercise, just do a vision board, or if you want, you can go to the previous parts and add those pages into your book as well. So in my book thus far, in my reflections and vision, I started with highlights. That was part 1. So what are the highlights of the year? I had my bachelorette in Solvang, where I partied and dressed like a grandma. I had my wedding in Madeira, Portugal, where I danced to drum and bass and just had the laughiest, funnest time. I put playing with friends. This is when we did our own version of Squid Games. No deaths were involved in this. Part 2 was what we were grateful for this year. So I put moments and experiences that I felt really loved, that I feel a lot of gratitude around. And then yesterday was part 3, which was 2023 goals. What are some of the big goals that we have? And now we're going to do part 4. We're going to add to our booklet. And the first thing I'm going to do to add a page is I am going to go into templates. Now, again, what I'm going to look for? I'm looking at collages, because if you've been with me for the last 4 days, I've been mostly using collages. Did I skip it already? I've been mostly using collage templates. I'm just loving the collage feel. It's very freeing. You don't have to be so perfect. If some of you are designers, you might like, I want this to be so perfect or aligned in all these ways. Collage makes it like, just put stuff down, throw it on there. If it feels good to you, then it's good. And what I'm looking for is something where it's mostly just images for today for my vision board. That's typically what vision boards will look like. It's mostly like a hodgepodge of different images. Perhaps you can add some quotes or some text if you want. And typically people have done vision boards with like physical boards, and they'll take magazines out and they'll take out newspapers and images that they have and stuff, and they'll like use paper and scissors and tape and glue and whatnot. And this is our digital version. It's a lot less dirty. It's, to me, a bit easier. A lot easier because I don't have magazines anymore. So I'm going to add this as a new page. I like just that there's like a lot of images here that I can work off of. And the cool thing about this is you can change the layout of this. So maybe you want to have more images than this or less images than this. You can change all of that over here in the layout panel. The first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to go to resize, and I'm going to change this to Instagram portrait because that's the size I'm using for all of my pages in my book, and I want them to be consistent. If you're not you're not creating a whole book, doesn't really matter. Do what you feel. So I'm going to go to layout, and I'm going to start with like, I think I want to put more than 4 or 5 images. So I'm just going to maybe do something like this for now. And then I can always change it if I want. Or maybe this, I'm not sure. This feels okay. Does it feel okay? Oh, I don't know. We'll start with this. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is, you see up here, you can change the border. So you can change it. So if you want like a thicker border, or if you want to change you can change also the border between the cells as well. So you can play around with that. What I'm going to do here is I selected my first little square, and I can either choose a color or I can choose an image. And I'm going to go with choosing an image. You can choose to upload a photo. So let's see, I do have some images in here that I've pre-selected. So which one do I want to do? I'm going to do this one. And I can just open up an image in here. And from there, you can add any filters or some enhancements to your images. You can rotate them. You can play around with all of that. Or you can upload, or you can select a photo that's already in Adobe Express. So you can search Adobe stock for images, and you can also, why is this taking so long? What's happening here? Boop, ba-da-doop-doo-doo. Let me just refresh my page. See why. The other thing, if you've watched my previous sessions, I already created in my Google Photos an album with images and photos that I've had from the past year that I really like. And I already curated them, and it makes it really easy for me to just add them into my book. My computer is slow today. This is my slow loading song for you guys. If I was more techie and better at this, I would probably like play a fun song to dance to. That's what I would do, but I don't know how to do that. Let's see what we're doing here. Okay. Here we go. So I am going to just drag this to make it center. This for me was one of my intentions, to just really feel good in my body this year in any circumstance, whether I'm wearing a swimsuit, whether I'm in front of the camera, whether I'm running around town. Like, I want to just feel good in my body and just feel really beautiful in my own skin at all moments. And so that's kind of what this it means for me. So I was talking about imagery. So you can select this meatball menu and you can connect through your Dropbox, Google Drive, Google Photos if you want to select an image through that. But this time I'm going to just search Adobe Stock Write Her, and I'm going to look at my Scribble Scrabble paper. One thing I wrote is I want to be a beacon of light and I want to feel less self-important. So I've been playing around with just like, how can I shed my ego? I'm wondering, could I just type in beacon of light? What would that do? Interesting. Lighthouses. Okay, I see that. Okay, so now I'm going to search for an image that like speaks to me. Maybe it's going to be more of like this square. Beacon of light. For me, what a beacon of light means is that I want to give people joy. I want people to feel like maybe in some of their darker times, I want to remind them of the beauty of life. That's kind of what I want to think about there. Why won't this scoot over? Actually, yeah, I think I like this large. I think I do like it in a larger image. So I'm going to change this. So one thing you'll have to always remember is when you want to replace an image, you have to select replace. Otherwise, it's just going to add the image into your screen instead of actually replace the image. Now that I'm looking at all these images, I'm like, do I like that first one? Something that that makes me, again, I'm looking for a feeling more than an image that represents it exactly as I imagine it. I'm looking for, oddly enough, it's like not the one that has the beacon or just the stream of light, but something about this makes me feel peaceful. I start to get a little emotional when I look at it. So it makes me feel like that's the right image for me. So I'm going to go with that. Alrighty. Something else I put in here. Oh, self-acceptance. I've been working a lot on just like understanding some of the more negative qualities about myself and really accepting those and finding love for myself. So I thought about the yin and the yang, the acceptance of the light and the dark. And so I'm going to choose, do I want to go literal with the yin and yang, or do I want to go almost koi fish, something happening here? No, not feeling it. Jay, you're looking for a feeling, any feeling? It describes your 2020. I just want to feel something. Yeah, what did that look like for you? What was something that made you feel something? Actually, watching the World Cup right now has been making me feel something. I was like, I just want to watch to feel something. I get like really connected to a team, and then I'll be like emotionally invested. And that's kind of, ooh, do I like this? That doesn't fit in this area. Do we like that? It's fine for now. Okay, so I got the yin and yang feel. What else did I put here? Peaceful retreats, and I have just like a scribble scrabble of trees. So let's see. Maybe like mountains or trees. Ooh, all of these kind of make me feel joyful and relaxed. This year, I've been thinking a lot about just feeling peace. That's what this year for me is about. Of course, I forgot to write, to put replace images. And so because for me, the feeling is peace, I was also thinking I wanted to include some text. So I'm going over on the left-hand side, and I'm going to just look at certain text styles. And maybe I'm just gonna like, I'm gonna see which one feels good to me. Like the words that I'm looking for is peace. And that's kind of like gonna be my mantra for this upcoming year. It's just like peace, peace. Whenever I'm feeling not peaceful, I wanna be like peace. And that's gonna be my mantra for this year. Peacefulness. That feels nice. So you can add like text and you can add some words and things that feel good for you. That feels nice. I'm going to change this to white so you can actually read it. And I feel like that's the vibe I want to have when you even look at my vision board, where you're like, oh, peacefulness. Yes, that feels good. I also, a big thing I want to have is like when I wake up in the morning, I want to feel like really healthy and energized for the day. So, I don't know if I'm going to do like energized or maybe morning. I don't like anything that feels too cheesy. Like sometimes stock images are like, yeah, just like, no, I'm not trying to wake up like that. I just want to wake up like, oh, okay, I'm ready for it. So I'm not going to use any of these, like, to me, a little bit more over the top type of imagery. I want something just like, maybe peaceful is the word. So I think it's good to just find, like, look at different words and see which of those speak to you. I kind of like this one. I kind of like this. Like she looks like she might be energized and waking up quite relaxed in the morning. That kind of feels nice to me. Okay, yes. A big one for me is eating more vegetables. I started recently. I did like a sugar detox. And I was eating so many fruits and vegetables. And I was like, it was kind of driving me crazy because I was like, oh, that's all I can eat is fruits and vegetables. But after I went back, I stopped doing my veggie diet. And I started to eat regular food again. I felt so sick. I was like, ew, my tummy really hurts. I ate like all this ice cream. I was like, oh, my tummy hurts. And then when I was like eating back to like my sweet drinks that I have and like regular foods and pizzas and ramen and all of that, I was like, my stomach was really not feeling so great. So I was like, I think I need to start back on this veggie thing. So that's going to be my intention there. Okay. I think like I'm feeling pretty good about this, and I want to change the layout and maybe like shuffle things around more. Maybe something more like this. Shuffle it. Oh, this doesn't need to be there. This does not need to be there. Actually, this works for me because I want to be more like connected to my plants as I take care of them. This one I'm gonna just replace real quick. I want this to be, what am I gonna choose? Oh, passive income. So I'm just gonna put like money, but I don't want to be like, oh, I'm making it rain. Oh, maybe, or some of these pictures are kind of cool making it rain, but I think I just want to have like passive income coming in and just feel like peaceful with money. And that's going to be something else I want to bring in. So look at that, peaceful with money, perfect picture. Oh, okay. So I'm loving this. This feels so nice and relaxing. I might add some more words and stuff to this. But again, what I'm looking for is when I look at this vision board, I feel like, okay. And for me, there's not like a lot of specifics with my visions of like what exactly I'm doing. It's more of what I connected to was a feeling, but you could be connected to whatever feels good for you. If there's an image of you working at a conference or what have you, like put those images in. For me, I selected to kind of go with more of the feeling that I want to have throughout this year, and that's what this vision board means to me. But you need to find whatever feels good for you, what kind of combination of images when you look at it is like, oh, this is what I want to have in the new year. Just a sense of peace and relaxation, or whatever words that feel right and resonate with you. And I really hope that you kind of find whatever emotion that you are looking for this next year, and feel connected to your vision. And I know that you can achieve that feeling or that experience that you want to have, as long as you have that vision and you start to filter out the other things that might cloud your experience or cloud that vision. So I hope that this feels good for you guys, and I'm excited to wrap up our last part tomorrow. We are going to put everything together. We're going to put a title page on there, and we are going to talk a little bit about how to share this with other people if that feels right for you guys. All right. All the best. See you for part 5 tomorrow. Bye.